Aligned Alien April, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking all about
the Makara.
Essentially, the Makara is the Indian sea monster, okay? It is the sea animal in Sanskrit. It also comes from the word magar, which means crocodile. So it's basically the cosmic crocodile. In the Indian zodiac, Makara is also looked at as Capricorn, okay? Which is very interesting. This archetype relates to my higher self. I realize this, and it's connected to the priest-beast archetype of Primal Sutra, because it is this sacred monster.
You know how they say we have to become a monster?
Yeah, that's true, but what if you leave your sacred essence? But without spirituality, it's not sustainable, you see? Because that's the container, that's the interconnectedness of all things. We need this energy, this sacred monster energy, which is seen throughout so many different kinds of cultures, so many different walks of life. It's been associated with the land dolphin. It's been associated in the Jain religion as well, through some research, being connected to the dugong, okay? I don't know if you guys remember, but back in high school, we used to talk about dugong quite a bit as a meme. So that's interesting too. There's gonna be a lot of birds that you might see in the sky because Haru has been channeled quite recently, as you just saw, okay? And he was also present with me today in the meditation, okay? I saw his face. I was, very, very tapped in today. Today's day 3 of my dad's meditation retreat. I decided to make this video right after because I knew that this pivot or pocket of time would be essential in me getting this wisdom across. So it can be associated with the marsh crocodile. It can be associated with a water dragon of sorts. It's also associated with the water monitor lizard, okay? It's almost like the second largest lizard after the Komodo dragon. So how do I personally depict this Makara essence, okay? I use this, okay? Another form of this is Ambulocetus, okay? But this is a Mosasaurus, okay? This was the best depiction that I could find, okay? There's probably different versions where, Varuna is on the idol and connected to the idol itself. This is the best representation that I found, and I use this and I keep this near all the different deities, different yidams, right? To protect the lineage, to protect the teachings, okay? Because this sacred monster is there to protect. You know how they have the Leviathan, right, in the Bible? This is more so the good version in terms of the light, right? Whereas that is more so the shadow quality of this wrathfulness. This is more so a wrathful being that is much more so associated with the light or the yang. So this is a very auspicious symbol of not only protection, but also of fear and terror. Fear and terror against our delusions or illusions, against any mental contaminations. Makara Kundala is a type of jewelry that you might have seen a lot of the Hindu deities wear, okay, as earrings. The specific tongue of the Makara is said to protect the self-concept of prosperity of Ma Lakshmi, okay? So very, very powerful ideal. Crocodile, right? I think there's certain parts of the marsh crocodile, like the jaw or the tongue and the meat and the bones that are aphrodisiacs, okay? That's interesting because it's associated with creativity or life force in some sense, right? So Varuna rides on this, Ma Ganga rides on this, so the Makara Kundala, which is the jewelry, which is worn by Lord Surya. It's worn by Lord Surya, it's worn by Lord Shiva, it's worn by Lord Vishnu, it's worn by Lord Durga, and many others. Kamadeva, okay, the Hindu god of love and desire, and passion, right? Pleasure. Makar Dwaja is basically the insignia of Kamadeva. So this becomes his emblem, his logo, his flag, okay? His flag, he's planting his flag, and his flag is the Makara, okay? So this essence speaks to me, but also connects me to my higher self. I start to see that version of me notices this Makara frequency, whether it is the Makara itself or it's an essence or a quality of that guardian yang essence, I'm not too sure yet. However, I do know that I'm very, very related to this being connected to my higher self. You've got to understand that this is a perfect analogy for flow state. Why am I speaking about this being, this flow state entity, on a flow state channel like this? Because this is half terrestrial and half aquatic. It's half water-like. The theme of water, be like water, Bruce Lee, as he said, relates to the flow state. Number one. The half terrestrial, half aquatic hybrid version of us being humans, but also related to the subconscious mind, or water, or emotions in a sense. We're emotional creatures. So we understand that connection too, right? Half and half, or 1 foot in the metaphysical realm, 1 foot in the physical realm. We can think of it like that too. The front part, or the head of the Makara, is usually an elephant or a stag or a deer of some sort. It could also be obviously a crocodile of some sort. It usually has a fish's tail or a snake's tail or like a seal's tail, right? So this is very, very interesting because this was the Vamana, or the vehicle of certain gods, specifically Varuna. So this would be what they used to travel in. Okay, this was their Uber ride. Okay, it's like this was their like chariot in a sense. So that's really, really interesting to note as well. Not only is this a guardian or a protector or a gatekeeper of certain doorways, of certain ancient teachings, of certain, for me, it's protecting my flow state wisdom. Wherever all of this information is being classified or coming from, or it's from this essence, and we've understood that this essence can also help us with manifestation. And if you're part of the Primal Sutra pathworking, you can know way further if you join the Primal Sutra protocol. Okay, we'll work with you for 3 months to help you along with this process where you can actually manifest using this Primal Sutra tech. So they protect doorways, they protect gateways, they protect sacred places, arches, shrines, bodhis, stupas, thresholds, liminal spaces, different entrances, kind of similar to Janus, right? How we talked about Janus being the god of doorways, right? These different entrances and exits, or liminal spaces, right? From one state to another state, that is flow state, right? An altered state of mind, okay? So as it's going through the teachings, this is also the animal, or the mythological animal, I should say, the mythical animal that travels through my chakra points. So I noticed that this energy or frequency can enter these different chakra points almost like they're different realms, right? That it's visiting. And it can pull the knowledge from each one like a filtration system, okay? Going through my internal world. So that's how I use it, almost like a light that shines and looks beyond into the dimensional vortexes of energy, okay? So there's a theory that this Makara being is a shapeshifter of some sorts. That's why so many myths from so many parts of the world, right? It's in Indonesian Java, it's in Cambodia, right? You can see it in Thailand, you can see it in, in so many different places, right? That show up. Not only is it a Hindu myth animal, right? There have been different renditions like chu-srin in Tibet is the Makara, right? Multiple myths, religions, and cultures have talked about this being. And not only do they have different bodies, but they have different shapes as well. So this is why we get so many differences, right? Not only this archetypical, but it's also architectural. A lot of architecture uses these Makaras to protect the gateways or the doorways of the entrances of temples, if you might have noticed, okay? Shiva actually had another protector or guardian, which had a lion's head that could consume itself almost, and Shiva saw that he was willing to eat and devour itself in order to protect Shiva. He called upon that and the Makara essence to protect him, okay? So it is connected with Shivaji, definitely, too, if you're wondering that. I'm more so associated with time, and Shiva, whereas Ryan is more so associated with Vishnu's teachings and Varuna, okay? Varuna would be more so the Puranic tradition, okay, version of Vishnu in a sense. Take this idea of Indra being close to Krishna, okay, because they both represent this subconscious or soma state of awareness, okay? If you really want to boil down to it, this is the protector of the sea, okay? Okay, Aquaman would be very happy at this essence. Sri Lanka looks at the Makara as independence and prosperity. What I mentioned about protective essence for the self-concept of the prosperity in Mahalakshmi, but also that self-sufficiency. So this represents self-sufficiency. I don't need anything because I am everything. I am the traveler, okay? I'm the one that keeps moving forward. I'm not gonna get tied down to anything or one teaching. I'm not gonna get attached to one teaching. I'm gonna keep moving through the dimensions, almost like Tashi Kedron, if you know about Vajrayana Buddhism. There's a tiger that floats through different dimensions, right? It almost has that quality to it, the Makara, okay? But also it's going underwater and actually protecting some of the, accurate knowledge from the Vedas that we can use in this physical world. There's no such Makara temple, but they are guarding the temples, all sorts of temples in a sense, okay? So you could say that this is connected to all the gods too, as just a vehicle, right? Going from point A to point B, which is what flow state helps you do, okay? Flow state helps you go from point A to point B and make it smoother, right? So let's say that you want to finish this task, okay? You're going to have to get into flow state if you want to do it efficiently, smoothly, right? In peak performance. I wonder if this is also an adaptation of the Greek ketos, okay? If you're very familiar with that essence. From idea to action, from sky to land, from crown chakra to root chakra. That is the channel of manifestation. The idea comes in and then goes down. However, what it's looking at is, it's placed it opposite in this particular model that we're looking at. So we're looking at the feet going to the top of the head and beyond, okay? So actually it starts off with Indra or daydreaming. Why is Indra associated with this particular essence of daydreaming? Because isn't Indra the thunder god? Well, yes. So if you think about daydreaming, it's that spark of thunder, right? That comes from the subconscious, from that Krishna essence, from that subconscious power, right? Of that Shiva quality too. Subconscious mind, the Soma, is the one to boost that power. So the boost of that power is the lightning bolt, right? The reminders of Satori, as I explained in my original Satori video, okay? From daydreaming to illusion or Shakti, to Brahma for creativity, then going into stabilization or Vishnu or Varuna, okay? The midpoint, the choice point. You go into determination, which is Shiva. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. And status alteration, which is why we recently channeled Shani, okay? Shani is associated with Saturn, okay? So that essence of that is associated with altering your status or status alteration. The way that I would see this is identity level change or shifting your role, okay? So where the idea becomes embodied, okay? It's not just an idea anymore. In order for you to manifest it, you got to attract what you are. You get what I mean? And then of course it ends with Yama or death, or the underworld, right? Yama is more so associated with that quality of compulsion or urges, okay? So now you have an urge to put it into action in the real world. You get what I mean? So that's the whole entire process of this manifestation. If you want to know more about this, you're gonna have to join our Pathworking, and we'll teach you more about this. Primarily, this can be used as a water element. This has probably water element properties, talisman charging properties, right? If it is used as jewelry or was used as jewelry back in the day, you got to look at the aesthetic quality of this, right? So this is the creature that eats through all Maya and illusion in my personal perspective, okay? Of course, take what I say with a grain of salt. These are all my understandings mixed in with these ancient teachings and these practices. So you do want to double check, you do want to cross-reference and so forth. However, I hope this video helped you in gaining a clear understanding of what this Makara energy truly represents and how it can help you become your greatest self. I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and I hope you tune in next time to Aligned Alien April. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Os.